Welcome, heroes, back to the Realms of Halvidor. I'm your DM, Rare, and we begin where we left off. A simple tavern in the middle of the desert, the Dusty Dame, where all of our friendly adventuring party members have spent the evening fending off a intruder and have gotten as restful a night's sleep as they possibly can. Who's the first to wake up?
My guess it would probably be S, since early riser to pray and everything.
I'd be one of the last ones to get up.
Same.
And Vario would be one of the earlier ones because they need to prepare their spell lists and all that, their spell book and all that.
Okay, so we'll do A-Rob, Geddon, Dez, and then Void.
S would slowly get up out of bed, noticing Darjo is still asleep, and quietly grab all of his gear and exit the room. Head down to the tavern, downstairs, and walk outside of the tavern to find a quiet place underneath of the tree to just kind of pray for a while.
Okay. Walking down the stairs, you notice that at the early morning hours, the sun hasn't even really begun to crest the horizon at this point. You're on the verge of it, however. You'll notice that the tavern is very silent and empty, except for the occasional sounds of a breeze of dust coming from outside. You exit out the door and immediately look around to see that the only tree in the middle of this desert is at the end of the street, kind of near the side, near where the temple is, where you had the ceremony yesterday. So you head that direction.
I guess I forgot to ask. What temple is it of?
This one is you would actually know this fairly well, is all of the temples of Vita, including this one, had to be converted.
Okay.
So it is a temple of now Gravita.
Okay. I decide to go there. As walking, I reach down and grab my mask as I enter into the temple.
All right, perfect. Again, the temple is fairly empty, in this main chamber at least. You do hear, after you've come inside and gotten out of the kind of the general air and early morning dust from outside, being sure to clean yourself off shoes wise before you fully step into this temple. There is someone that is in the back halls that you can hear just echoing steps.
I try not to disturb and make a sound. I just work my way up to the front row, take a seat, set my mask on my lap, bow my head, and just start to pray.
right, we'll leave you there for a moment and head over to Geddon.
All right. Vario will wake up, grab her belongings, and head down to the main tavern hall. Then set up on a table in the middle her book supplies, and then do some stretching while she's preparing for the day, and set up for and just set up her spells for the day.
Okay. It just so happens to be the same table where they were gambling the night before. As you spread your things out, the same bartender with a much more restless look, seems like he hasn't gone to sleep yet for the evening, is just kind of hanging out behind the bar, waiting for you to call his attention if you need anything casually.
Okay, she'll slightly acknowledge him and continue doing what she's doing.
After about an hour, another individual walks in the front door. The boots kind of come to a casual halt, just one after the other, as they survey the room, taking in your particular table, kind of what you're doing, and pull down the bandana that's around their nose to reveal a pair of tusks. This seems to be some type of half orc of some kind. A large hat, a big rim around the side, and this pair of dusters, as well as a vest and a couple daggers that line the side of their belt, running around the back, as well as a pouch that's hanging off of their right shoulder that they're holding on to, and just kind of notices the bartender and begins to kind of stroll that way before parking up on the end, real privately whispering something to the bartender, and then gets past a drink.
She will ignore him.
That's what I thought. Perfect. Des, your turn.
All right. So when Hyle wakes up in the morning, basically gonna stretch out, put the armor on, grab Vane, and all that. Really not much to grab in the morning. Everything's away in vain. Gonna head downstairs and grab a quick drink of water and something simple to eat and get the day started.
Okay. You'll notice immediately that as you exit out into the hall and begin to head down the stairs, that there is another female individual a couple doors down, also coming out of her room. Just gives you like the eye contact, just kind of nod, and then locks the door before also heading down the stairs. And
do I recognize her?
No, she doesn't seem like someone recognizable. There's a very a very nice vibe coming from this person, as the smile just kind of hits you in a certain way, and the ball gown that they're wearing, a couple patches here and there, seems to be either fixed themselves or just kind of got it secondhand. Nothing really strange about them either. You head downstairs, and your immediate sight there is Varia in the very center of the tavern there, as well as one other individual at the bar. Seems like a very adventurous, rugged individual with the hat, as well as the daggers and the vest there. The bartender acknowledges you and just kind of goes about cleaning the single glass that's in their hand right there.
Okay. I, after scoping out the room for anything out of place, as I always do, we'll go just sit with Varia.
Go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
Total 20.
Okay, with a total of 20. You notice that the lady that followed you down the stairs immediately heads towards the bar and has a quick conversation while you're walking towards Varia, and then goes over to that person at the edge of the bar there, and they seem to lock eyes and recognize each other for whatever that's worth, as they you hear like a swell of like, hey, I haven't seen you in a while, and they begin to kind of quiet down and have a private conversation. How close would you like to listen in on that?
Fairly close, but not being too overly obvious. Hyrule does not seem entirely trusting of the people at the bar.
Okay.
Or rather, a person at the bar. I'll just clarify that.
So with your ability to position yourself as well as hear a little bit better than most individuals, with your particularly specialized shaped face, as well as the training, you get a couple major words as the gentleman there starts talking about some type of treasure buried in the dunes, and she starts going over how she was just at some kind of party the last evening and met a couple individuals that could help out with that. And he comes back and says, very generally, you get the major words as he says something about a dagger being the key, but also saying that the map is broken. Varia, you see your friend slowly approach and kind of prop up on a table, at your table, and pull the chair in just such a way to where you could tell that their attention isn't on you. It's more directed towards the people at the bar and what they're talking about.
Okay. Well, Waria will probably finish her preparations with her spell by now. So,
yeah. So at this point, you're packing up your things.
Yeah. So I will. So she will go towards the bar just to get the bartender's attention and see about getting some breakfast for Hal and her.
Not that hard as the bartender turned, just double take to acknowledge you coming up, and then walks a couple steps over. You can hear the peg leg as it go goom across the ground a couple steps, and says, "Oh, you're interested in some breakfast? Okay, I can make that happen. Would you like water? We do have a special special fruit that grows in the deserts here, a special type of juice if you'd like that. And we just made some fresh biscuits along with our animal we chose to make breakfast with this morning, all freshly made just for you."
Yes, that sounds fine.
All right. He kind of reaches under the bar and gets 2 glasses before going over to one of the barrels that's labeled juice, but spelled with a Z instead of uh, a C, and then pours you 2 clear glasses. You can see there's some level of foam to it, but the color itself is this bright turquoise kind of color that as the glass and the juice settles, you can notice at the bottom of the glass starts to turn more of a an orange color, as it's kind of a half and half looking blend. Sets it on the counter and says, "I'll be right back with your food."
Okay, thank you. I'll take the bottles, the glasses, and take them back to the table, and shift one towards Hyrule.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
At this point, Darjo, you'll be starting to kind of stir a little bit from your sleep.
So it wouldn't be me waking up. It would be my familiar constantly pecking me on the head.
That's fun.
I'm up. I'm up. Slowly and groggily get out of bed and get dressed.
Your familiar just kind of bounces around impatiently, ready to start the day. As you begin to get dressed, doesn't take very long, and as you turn around and look back, it's already perched near the door, ready to go.
Yeah. And then I go downstairs while she flutters and then lands on the top of my head and sets him between my horns.
Okay. You head out and down the stairs before seeing your 2 friends now at the center table, just now receiving 2 meals of biscuits as well as a bowl of some type of stew of some kind.
Okay. I walk over to join them and ask the bartender if I could have the same thing.
He nods and goes to prepare you a glass as well as a plate.
So, how was your guys' night?
Well, there was the event, I suppose.
I was gonna say, where were you should know. Things got weird, and then we went to bed. I mean, not much happened after we went to bed. Sleep.
That's good. And then he sits back, very obviously still mostly asleep, and just sits there in silence.
Roll a dexterity saving throw for me real quick.
14.
As you just sit down very groggily into this chair, you notice it pretty much immediately snap underneath of your weight, but you do manage to catch yourself before you completely flop on the ground there.
Well, that's new.
Like, head turn thing, like, whoa, that's one way to get greeted in the morning? You okay? Offers a handout.
Yeah. I stabilize myself and try to find a new chair, I guess.
There's more at the table you can choose from. This one does not collapse under your weight, but with that sudden crash, boom, bam, you have momentarily drawn the attention from the two individuals sitting at the bar who, after a quick second, turn back to what they were doing.
Where's S? He wasn't in the room when I left.
Oh, I haven't seen him. I don't know. He does stuff really early, though. I don't know. I don't join him for that.
I didn't see him when I woke up.
Like I said, he goes and does stuff really, really early. No, that's not, no.
So the bartender now, with his little peg leg clop, you can hear him in the next room as he approaches with your stew and biscuit, as well as another glass of that juice. Now that you've tasted it has this semi-sweet, almost kind of floral taste to it, but there is a somewhat thickness to it you weren't expecting as it has a level of resistance. Not much, but there is a resistance as it goes down your throat and kind of coats the inside of it.
Oh, haven't tasted like anything like that before.
So after we eat, do we want to try to go find S and continue on?
I'm sure. Yeah, I think I know where he's at anyway.
Okay, and then I quicken up eating.
As you get about halfway through with your food, Darjo, the two individuals both get up at the same time, throw a couple coins onto the countertop there before having a quick laugh, just out loud real quick, and then quiets themselves before walking out the front door. And you can see their shadow on the window as they pass the both of the individuals now kind of like, as they pass by the window, you see them tightening up their garments for the dusty weather that's outside.
I will wait until the two of them are completely out of sight before speaking up and saying, so those two guys were looking for something.
Anything interesting?
Treasure in the dunes, something about a dagger unlocking it, and yeah, things like that. Oh, and a broken map.
Okay. Rare. Would any of those words bring up any thoughts or memories?
Roll a history check for me.
Okay. Natural 20 for 26.
Yes. So a lot of it is what they're talking about is very unknown to you, but your understanding and your level of where you're at with these magical items is to the point where you can have kind of a picture about what these magical items could be linked to.
Okay.
I had to flip to my notes, sorry. I wasn't expecting a natural 20. The dagger, specifically, you've heard that there is a temple in the dunes that a lot of treasure hunters try to scour and go after, but because the desert's such a dangerous place, it's such a risky endeavor. And this broken map, unless you're looking at it, you won't know why it's broken. I'll put it that way. And you're assuming this dagger may be something to unlock something in that temple. So that's the info you got.
I do recall something about an ancient temple out here in the desert, which there's supposedly a map that might lead to it, but beyond that, I don't know much. And the dagger may open something in the temple.
Interesting. Think it has anything to do with what went on last night?
Well, if there was going to be a place to hide the shards, a lost temple wouldn't be a far-fetched.
Sorry, can you repeat that last bit? It said something, a what wouldn't be far-fetched? It kind of cut out a little bit for me.
No, I fumbled over my words. It wouldn't be far-fetched for a temple to be a good hiding place for the shards.
I don't think that's a terrible thought, but if this is a place that a lot of people have been, like a lot of specifically treasure hunters have been looking for, I'm not sure if that's where they put it. I think it would be somewhere more, I don't know, secretive than that.
I mean, if it is related to the shards, we do have a compass that will supposedly point us in the direction.
Yes.
Yeah, we do, don't we?
I say that as I'm finishing up my food. So I guess we should pay for this and then go find S.
Yep, back to the temple we go.
Okay, each of your meals individually is about 5 silver pieces.
And are we doing the 1 to 10 or 1 to 100 rare?
We'll keep it the same as last time.
Got it, 1 to 100. I go up to the barkeep and just go to break a gold piece.
You go up to the barkeep and you set the gold piece on the counter, and he looks at it and then looks up at you with like a questionable look before saying, "I guess your buddy didn't tell you he already paid for your experience here. Keep it."
Oh, I didn't think that included food. I thought it was just the bed. All right, well, thanks.
Nope. In fact, that's enough for a couple nights if you're ever back in town.
Good to know. Good to know. Appreciate that.
I'll see you around then.
Definitely.
Well,
Have a good day.
Goodbye.
Yeah, have a nice day.
All right, y'all. Let's I guess we should go get S at the temple, since that's probably where he is.
So what has S been up to?
More or less just doing his morning prayers, holding the mask, speaking to Gravita, asking for guidance in the new venture that they were going to be going on, and the strength to make all the right choices and to help the wounded and everything.
There's a level of true peace and comfort that comes over you every time you engage in your morning routine, but it's extra special when you're in the temple, of course. You sit there and meditate on this and say your words and really have that conviction and mean it, as you can hear, and habitually you know exactly who this is as you hear a couple of footsteps before some bristles scraping across the ground, as it's probably one of the acolytes here maintaining the dust inside of this temple. It's a rigorous task, but someone needs to do it and build some character, you know? But after a little while of you engaging in this, you're from behind you, you hear the big double doors swing open, not turning to pay attention to it necessarily, as the multiple footsteps of your friends walk in the door and see your particular outfit on one of the front closest benches. What would everyone like to do?
My first task is using prestidigitation to clean all the dust off of everyone.
Good.
Then
I will just head towards S, I suppose.
yeah, I would follow, but not interrupt S if he's in the middle of prayer.
Yeah, there's an air about this place that is unlike, if you haven't been in this space, unlike anything that you've felt before. You can't put your finger on it, but it just feels different. And you begin to walk up and see someone dressed like S, but with a mask on. So you can't fully confirm if it is S.
Hyrule would look rather uncomfortable being here. Not y'all can clearly tell that not the type of place Hyrule's used to frequenting.
And Hyrule has sort of a level of PTSD as you kind of spin your head around and look up at the window directly above the double doors and remember what happened yesterday.
Yeah, I'm definitely head on a swivel.
Knowing that they're approaching, I finish up my prayer. I say aloud, Gravita, Mother of Cycles, Keeper of Balances, please guide us on our journey. And I slowly stand and I turn towards my friends, slowly removing my mask. And I probably should say what my mask looks like. I'm trying to find where I typed it out. Rare, is it okay if I send the picture that you sent me?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. Give me a moment. So that is the symbol of Gravita. My version of it has the original two halves of the mask that are held together by a metal vine with flowers and roses to represent life and death that are intertwined. As I take off my mask, I look. Welcome, my friends, and good morning.
Hyrule just nods.
Good morning. What would I know about the divine? And
Just in general.
yeah.
Okay, roll a religion check for me.
Religion is intelligence, right?
Yes.
26 total.
That's pretty good.
I probably would have explained a decent amount of Gravita to him when we first met when we were kids.
Very true. So you would get, of course, the stuff that that's back from your homeland, all the different individual dragon deities, as well as the great space dragon. But then you would also, as you traveled to the mainland and began to explore that, you would realize, oh, these other races and creatures have their own pantheon, which, as you meet S, is further explained in a very general way, but also more specifically about S's God. What are the types of things you would have told Darjo?
I probably would explain to him the relevance of Gravita, how she is a very unique god, how she represents life and death, the balance between good and evil. And how
Okay.
it's very close to my heart and how I lead my life.
Okay, perfect. You will have Darjo, you will have some basic level of knowledge about the uh, the rest of the pantheon, but also you would have heard things from your parents saying stuff like, "Oh, they're merging," and now getting over here, having that explained to you more in depth, you understand what that means. You realize that two gods ended up merging together to create this one god, Gravita, to replace it. And the more you've explored, you kind of discovered that you initially thought it was a good thing, and it is a good thing. But with every good thing, there's a few bad things to go along with it, like the fact that the pantheon's now out of balance because of it. Things like that. You're uh, discovering the good and the bad as you go.
Okay. So, what's our plan for now?
Well, figure we could try to figure out where to start. Uh, we have the compass, so let's see where that leads us.
Easily done. And I reach for the quiver and Finn, can I have that compass piece back?
Should we be asking him in here?
What do you mean? Oh, you want to? Oh, okay, we can head out.
Okay, heading out the front door. You gather underneath the tree that's just nearby, and pulling out this compass, you see that the needle begins to kind of swivel. It turns to the east, then it turns to the south, then it turns back to the east, then it turns back to the south, and then it turns generally southeast, your headed direction.
So it looks like southeast would probably be our best bet.
Now, Rare, is that deeper into the desert?
Yes.
We're gonna wanna make sure we have enough provisions for this trip. Rare, where's a shop where we can get things like water skins and rations and things like that?
There's a few general stores in town, but there is one that is near the edge of town that's more of a um you'll find out when you get there. It's on the way as you begin to walk back towards the edge of that town, towards uh this very rugged looking general store that's basically held up by sticks and tarps, as it's parked just on the outer edge of town. Um, the two flaps for the door swing as they are getting generally blown by this desert wind. And entering inside, you see a bunch of crates that have been placed in different aisles that have these various items placed upon it, like rations, as well as little daggers, as well as water skins, as well as most general purpose things that you might need for a trek through a desert.
Okay.
The individual, this really skinny looking lizard folk of some kind, as the neck is this lengthy lengthy green as it comes out of a brown paper paper bag looking tunic, kind of jagged as it runs down this thing's body, concealing it except for the tail at the very end, which goes up. It has a single yellow stripe and just kind of swings there back and forth kind of casually. Reading a book, the neck perks all the way up out of the book and then looks over in your direction before the tongue flicks and closes the book, stepping around the counter. Can I help you?
We're just here to look at provisions for our travels.
I would be looking to resupply all my cooking stuff.
I'm looking at topping off my medical supplies and then possibly a new water skin.
I'm just looking for supplies.
Okay, I can help you with these things, as the tent is somewhat extensive, and your eye immediately catches on any of the general items that you may be looking for. If you see something you might want, I will roll to see if there is and how many of that particular item.
Okay. Now I had a question about the barrels. Are they empty?
These ones are, yes.
Okay, and is there like a nearby water source, oasis type of thing?
Looking at my map here.
Also, I'm gonna want a map of the desert that is, if there is one, that's local.
There is one. I can go ahead and give you that.
Cool.
How many set of rations does he have?
Rations. Let me roll.
I am a cook, so I can extend our rations with hunting stuff.
Keep in mind we are also going into the desert.
That's why I'm
And I'm
looking into
assuming
rations.
I know. And rare confirm for me, is this a duny desert or a dry desert? Like a barren desert?
This is a Dooney desert.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Would I be able to use prestidigitation to like take water out of the atmosphere because I can heat or chill stuff, and if you chill something, you can get water from it, from the
With
air.
prestidigitation, I don't know if that would be enough to sustain you. You could, in theory, do it, but it would be all depending on your environment and things. And the desert tends to be kind of dry air.
The thing is that since there's actually a spell that creates water, it doesn't seem feasible a cantrip can do it.
True, there's literally the create water, destroy water spell.
True, true.
And that says up to 10 gallons, so it's all good, man.
What about the rations?
The rations, this guy has 35 total in stock.
How much water does a water skin hold, anyways? 1 day's worth?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, on my list it
Okay.
is 4 pints of liquid, which is a day in like a non-hot environment type situation.
Yeah, I was gonna say that is a day not in the desert.
At desert,
Right.
you would probably
So
want to double
in-
that.
you probably want to double that since you're traveling in an extreme environment.
Right, so Rare on the map. Oasis?
There's an oasis in the opposite direction you're heading.
How far in the opposite direction?
About a day and a half travel to the northwest.
If
A
we have a
day
map,
and a half for anybody else, correct? But I can get us there faster.
True, I forgot about that. Yes.
if we have the map and the compass, I could probably figure out how far distance we're going to go.
Well, here's my thought. Hey, Rare, how many barrels are there?
So right now there are 3 empty barrels and 1 that's full of just general supplies.
Just odds and ends, nothing real specific.
Yeah, it looks to be some type of clothing of some kind, stacked in piles, just dipping over the side of the barrel.
So total of 4, correct?
Right. You'll have to pay extra for the 4th one. He's using it.
No, I get that. I'm just looking at what I've got. And how big are the barrels?
So each one of the barrels are
On the list I'm looking at, it's 40 gallons of liquid or 4 cubic feet of just space.
it would be enough if you were crouched in there, you would fit. A normal medium-sized creature.
All right. And because I don't want to get booted from Discord again, can someone check for me? They were 2 gold apiece, correct?
They are. I'm looking at it right now.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. I am going to go up to the shopkeep. Said, how much you thinking for all 4 of those barrels?
I could give you the 3. I'm using the 4th one, but if you really need it, I suppose I could part with it for an extra amount. I'd say an
Okay.
extra gold piece.
Oh. Kyle's really just thinking for a moment over the numbers real quick. So you're saying 9 gold for all 4? Am I understanding that correct?
Yes.
I turn to the rest of the party. What do you guys think of grabbing these barrels? And I look pointedly at S, and I kind of scratch my neck by my quiver.
S crosses his arms. Well, is he willing?
Fair. Bane. You there, buddy?
What? I was taking a nap. Where are we?
Oh. I kind of walk away from the shopkeep at this point, just to kind of have this conversation. We're gonna be trekking into the desert. Do you want to carry a couple of well, barrels of water for us?
Yeah, that sounds important.
Well, yeah, I just want to make sure you can, and you're good for it.
Yeah, I could do that. I mean I could try.
All right. Um, sounds all right. Sounds all right. So, what do you think, y'all? 3 or 4?
Well, they're 30, 40 gallons.
About there.
We could probably do 3. I don't think we really need full. Because we might run into something that we can refill things on our way.
That's fair. All right, shopkeep. I'll take 3 of them, and I'll easily hand over the 6 gold for them.
Takes it and slides it into a pouch and kind of motions to go ahead and grab them. There you are.
I'm literally just gonna go hoist them up, walk away for a bit out of sight, and then give them to Vane, come back empty-handed.
Amazing.
I'm also gonna look at how much provision, rations are and such.
I think you said there was 35 earlier.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah,
I'm about to buy them
yeah.
all.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm just working out the rest of this, see what else I want to buy.
Well, is somebody else buying a map? If not, I'll grab it.
Oh, yeah. I was intending to, wasn't I? Yeah. Well, Darjo, can you grab that?
All right, so that'll be a gold piece.
How local is the map? Like, how much of the desert is on it?
So a good portion of the desert's on it, but a lot of it is just general information, not really explored very much. There are key points where you can see Oasis, town, and then coastline, and that's pretty much all you see. The rest are just these drawn in dunes.
I'd like to buy a grappling hook, please, if you have one.
Nope, no grappling hook.
Okay, never mind.
Does he have a signal whistle? And backpack.
Yep, there's one whistle and a backpack.
I think I'm ready. Oh, yeah. All right. I'll take all the rations you have, all 35. I'll take your backpack. And I'll take you one signal whistle, please.
You guys think a shovel would be useful?
That might be a good idea.
You guys have any suggestions on spices and local spices and stuff? So for when I cook for everyone later?
I'm not real sure about all the spices from this area. You might ask the shopkeep. He might be able to help you out there. But as you can see, he left the counter for a few moments. Does he have any bedrolls?
Let me see. 4 bedrolls.
Yep. I'm gonna get a bedroll instead of a backpack.
Instead of a backpack? Okay.
Yeah, because I forgot that I had one thanks to my priest pack.
Okay.
No, I'm good. I already did all the math and took everything out, so
Perfect.
We might need tents if nobody has them.
I was just about to ask about that. Does everybody have tents?
Nope.
I don't have one.
no. The tents sleep too, so all we would need is 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say
How much are they?
2
2
gold, I
gold
think.
apiece. If I were to buy them, I'd be out of money, and nobody wants to be out of money. So
It's over at Varia, who's the rich one.
You don't know that. I'll buy a couple of tents, please. But
Uh,
I can't carry them.
I'm not sure that's too big of an issue.
Would it be better for us to get one large tent for all of us, just in case?
I don't think they make them that way.
So in this particular shop, all he has is the 2 tents that can fit 2 people.
Okay, I'll buy those. That's 4 gold in total.
4 gold in total for those, yes.
Okay.
Any last minute items?
Oh,
We
I'm
got
all
the
good.
milk, we got the items, we got the barrels. I think we're okay.
Anyone have a shovel? I assume that'd be useful in the desert.
Oh. Don't think so. I do not. I'll grab us a shovel. Oh, shoot. Those are 2 gold pieces.
They're very useful, though.
Yeah. All right. And I'll grab. Does he have any shovels?
Let's see. Yes, 4 of them.
And sit. I'll take 1 shovel, please.
All right, here is your shovel.
Would there be anything I could use for cooking?
What do you already have on you as far as cooking?
Just whatever the my feet came with, which I think was just the tools.
Yeah, so the tools. If you would like any desert specific spices, those are here and available. If you would like anything that is a way to start a fire, unless someone already has one.
We all have one.
I have prestidigitation that'll let me start
I
fires
have a
anywhere.
tinderbox.
All good answers. I believe that's it. You have everything you need, or as far as anything a general store could give you.
Okay, I'd probably get something I wouldn't have had before, like spice-wise or whatever.
Okay, fun.
I
Roll a
only have
100 for me. Whoa.
98.
Okay.
Now that's a
98.
roll.
On some spices too. Wow. Okay. Let me look. Looks like there is one. It's like a 4-ounce little bag that has this finely ground red powder in it. Begins to explain how this powder comes from what the locals have figured out, a very delicious part of the local cacti that runs along the inside of the cactus. That is processed and ground into a sweet, spicy mix that you can add to your food.
How much is it?
For this little bit, that's going to be 2 silver pieces for this little bit.
Yeah, I'll get.
Okay. With that, I believe that's about everything. Okay. Making your way back out into the desert fair and your
Well,
handy
hold on.
dandy compass.
Just
Okay.
a moment, actually.
Okay,
Y'all,
go ahead.
so
Please.
we have these empty barrels. The map says there's an oasis not too far from here. So, let's go fill them before we go on our actual journey. Especially because we don't know how long it'll be.
Well, since we have the compass, How accurate is the compass? Because if it's accurate enough, I can triangulate where it's trying to point us with the map.
I'm not sure that we know how accurate it is.
Right. At this point, you don't know how accurate it is. You haven't fully experienced it beyond the little bit you've played with it in town.
Okay. How big is the town? Because I would assume, well, I would just take the compass, go from one side of the town to the other, and see if I notice any deviation in the compass needle. While she's while they're going to fill the barrels with water.
Okay. So from your experience so far, you've walked this distance and noticed that it is pointing in a particular direction. You don't notice much of a change, but there is a fraction, a very small fraction of a change as you begin to walk more eastward up the street into town along the main street. So it appears to be functional, if that's what you're trying to get at.
No, this is something I have done in real life with a compass, a map, and 2 points. You can triangulate where the compass is pointing. You can do the same thing with a stick. So if there's like so with some math, you can figure out where it's pointing.
Okay, I hear what you're saying.
Is
So
that something I can do, or no?
let's see. I would say yes. If in the general sense, yes. You know that the Oasis exactly. You know that the Oasis is about a day and a half of normal rough terrain travel to the north. And you know that you're currently in this town as it points to the southeast. You can triangulate that and say that again, distance is a little funny as you know that on this particular map there are about 3 of those little dunes you have to get over before you get to generally where this location is. You kind of mark it with an X.
So the X where I think the compass is pointing to?
Okay, so there's about 3 dunes, which is, according to this map, about 3.5 days of travel to the southeast for you to get to where you've triangulated on this map.
Okay, I'm surprised you didn't have me roll intelligence for that.
Well, it made sense, so.
Fun
Okay,
little
so
fact.
it's a 3-day travel or a 9-day travel?
For people considering that you're traveling through the desert and knowing that it's going to be a rougher journey, it will be a 3.5 day travel.
Okay. With just that knowledge, we can prepare a lot better.
Yeah, still think having all the water is a good idea because that's just one way.
Yeah, water is important.
Especially since we don't know what's going to happen. So let's head to that closest oasis and then we can head for that wherever it's taking us.
It's still early in the morning, so if you leave now, you should be able to get there before sundown.
It's a desert. Isn't it better to travel at night than during the day. But then again, I can cool everyone off with my cantrip, so it's not an issue.
I'm just pointing out logistics from this moment. If you travel that way, you're welcome to wait.
Yeah, I'm fine heading now if that's what you guys want to do.
Yeah, we can march for a while, rest noon, and continue once it cools off a little bit too, as well, if that's something you guys are interested in.
Well, after what happened last night, is it wise to move during the nighttime?
That's a fair point. I can
I mean,
keep.
he showed up in the middle of the day the first time, so.
Yeah, but they're able to sneak up on us easier. During the light, we have much farther view. At night, that purple eye is all we can really see.
Yeah, temperature won't really be an issue because with prestidigitation, I can keep everyone cool for an hour at a time. So that's not an issue. So I guess we may as well go during the day.
We can stop when we need to cool off as well.
Okay, well, let's just go then.
Off
Okay.
we march. Y'all have your water skins filled already, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All
I
right.
need one of you to roll a D100 and a D20 for me.
I'll do it.
You don't need to.
Don't need to. Sorry, am I rolling this?
Hey, you said you were going to.
Okay, I thought you said I didn't need to.
No, you said you don't want me to.
Oh, okay.
I can if you want me to, considering my luck.
High rolls are not necessarily a good thing in these rolls.
Okay.
$39 on the D100 and 7 on the D20.
Roll a D4 for me.
One of us is gonna die.
2.
2. Okay. The desert, normally not a very fun journey, with the temperature typically an issue and the actual dunes themselves making it impossible to find a solid footing as you begin to trek over these miniature hills and slide at times down the other side. Made a little easier from your owl friend. Is how do you help them through the dunes?
What I will do is I will ensure that they have a better placement for their feet, avoiding sandfalls and other treacherous steps. Things such as that. I will fly into the sky when needed to scout out a more safe path, and so that we don't have to deal with as much up and down the dunes as, someone who couldn't have that eye in the sky.
Okay, go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
You would have guidance.
Ouch, 10.
Okay.
Do have my familiar. Would my familiar help?
Actually, potentially, that sounds that could grant an advantage. Actually, so yes. If you'd like to re-roll that d20.
Takes it up to a 13.
Okay. Um, doesn't change much of the result. However, it improves it just enough so that you can spot the small tent that is. If you keep traveling in your wayward direction, you will run into it. You can choose to go around it if you'd like.
I let everyone know before we decide. So, hey guys, there's a tent up there. You want to go up to it or go around it?
Doesn't seem like there's anyone there.
Can I tell?
I'm gonna say no. You just saw a tent.
All I saw was the tent from up there. I didn't get a good enough look with everything going on.
Could I send my familiar to scout it out and then come back with the result?
That is an option if you would like to do that. Yes.
What's everyone's opinion on it?
It's better to get more information before we go diving right in. So,
Are there other birds around?
No. All you really see through the after a certain distance, it gets quite dusty, in fact, to see. So it's a little hard, but in your general vicinity, you do not see any birds. No.
I don't see a lot of birds, so I'm not sure if that's the best option if we want to stay undetected. If that makes any sense at all.
well, out here in the desert, trying to go around, we're going to kick up some dust. So they're going to know one way or another.
There's enough dust blowing around. I'm not sure it will make much of a difference, but up to y'all. You guys choose at this point.
I'm fine with whatever.
Varia will acquiesce to the party.
Well, out here in the desert, you usually don't find many of people. If all else fails, we might as well go see and make sure that they're all right at least.
Okay,
If you
so
say
then,
so.
what were you saying?
If you say so, I mean, they're just other adventures more than likely, or at worst, they're people going to the same place we are. I'm not sure that's a good thing. Looking at the map, Rare, is there any other reason for someone to be out this direction? Where else could they be going?
The only thing listed on the map is between in this general area, I suppose, is the town you came from and the oasis you're going to, and that's it.
I I remember you guys talking about people treasure hunters. Maybe it's them.
Ugh, all the more reason to stay away from them.
Hunters. What?
Oh, I overheard some people in the tavern this morning. They were going treasure hunting. Somewhere in the dunes. Some kind of place in the dunes with a broken map and a dagger, and it was weird. It was some lady and a half orc.
Did they happen to say what direction they were going?
Not that I heard. At least don't think I heard.
No, at that point, you'd pretty much gotten into your own conversation.
Well, if this is the closest oasis, I don't see why they wouldn't be heading the way.
Well, we're trying to get this done as quickly as possible. We don't really want to add too much time onto a trip now, do we?
That's my slant, but I also understand you want to make sure everything's okay.
Let's
Done.
just head the quickest route possible to the oasis. Whether that takes us back through the camp, it takes us through the camp.
Okay. I guess I send Midna out to check it as we go past.
Okay, what's the extent of your search with your familiar? How close do you want to get?
Not very close, just enough to see if there's any trouble or anything, and then have her come back.
Okay, roll a perception for me.
She does have advantage on perception checks. So 14.
Okay, 14. We'll say with how close you got, you do see a pair of boots that are sideways, hanging out of the front part of this tent.
Okay. I'm reporting everything I'm hearing as we're going past. Do we want to check them out or just continue on our way? I assume that we're just continuing on our way, though.
Is this about midday by the time we get here, Rare?
Say it again.
Is it about midday by the time we get to this point? Did you say?
It's a little after midday, yes.
They're probably just resting in the heat of the day. We should just leave them be.
Oh yeah.
Agree.
Okay.
I guess we just go past them.
Even though I would like to check and make sure they're all right. We're on a mission to get things done, and we need to get going as quick as possible.
Do you need us to stop?
I mean, I didn't see any signs of struggle or anything.
Well, I'm believing what you said, Danjo, and let's keep on going.
Okay. Without any other objection, you set a path to step around where this singular tent is without being noticed, and head further on. The rest of the day is uneventful as the sun begins to go down, and off in the distance you see a singular beacon of some kind. It's a bluish light that's a speck off in the distance, surrounded by a bunch of trees, and you would identify that as the Oasis. Getting a little closer, you can see in the very center, underneath of where this speck is a water source, as well as a few huts that were built about, from this distance you see 15 of them speckled across the oasis. And a small, I guess from this distance it would be small, a creature that is sleeping immediately on the outermost edge of this oasis. It looks to be some type of lizard of some kind, has a saddle on the back of it. It is a large, has a hump, and the neck wraps around the side and looks to be snoring at the moment as you approach the edge of this town. It raises its head and seems to acknowledge you before giving a huff, and a bunch of smoke comes out of its nose before curling back up and then snoring once again. It doesn't take much longer to get to the water source, where multiple other individuals around the side of it are also doing a similar task as yourself, refilling whatever they deem to be their water containment unit of whatever type. Everyone but S, I want you to roll a perception check.
That's disconcerting.
19.
$12.
18.
The guy with no buffs to his perception rolled the highest.
Sometimes them's the shakes. And he's got a buff. What are you talking about?
I have a flat 0 wisdom.
Oh, right. You never mind. Misread.
Overall, everyone did okay. I'll say okay enough to notice that not particularly too close by, but close enough that you see them. The two individuals from the tavern are here refilling their water as well.
That's what.
This water source is quite clear. It's got this bluish it's like a bluish orange tint to it, but also you can very easily see that this little bead up in the sky directly above this is dripping very slowly, just one after another periodically, slowly, keeping this over time as full as it will allow. You'd imagine over the span of a day it fills up a certain amount. You can't really identify that, but that's what makes this an oasis, is it's magically coming from somewhere. The huts as well as the trees are all made out of the same type of wood. So you would assume that they are all built locally here, except for one. There's one that is twice as big that's sitting at the furthest edge of this oasis that also has a flag just outside the front of it. It looks like a more important building than the others. And that's all you see. Go ahead and refill your water and explore, or head on your way. Up to you.
I'm just gonna go for the beeline to the water personally.
I would like to try figuring out where the water dripping is coming from. Because I don't think that'd be something I've seen before.
It's not. I don't think any of you have seen. Well, I say any of you. Varia, you've seen this color before, the turquoise of this bead, and you'll recognize it as a some type of connection to the water plane, the water realm.
Okay. Oh, so that's how this oasis was formed. That's interesting.
You said it's getting nighttime now.
It is getting nighttime, yes. And you have a good 4 days ahead of you, however you'd like to use that.
Well, since it's approaching night, I decide to proc my first use of divine sense.
What's the range on that?
60 foot.
Okay, 60 foot. Okay.
Oh.
You activate it, and in the immediate area, you do not sense anything that's triggering for you.
Oh, Darjo, do you know what that bead is over there?
No, I have not seen it before.
It's a portal to the water realm, to the planes of water, the realm of water.
Oh, it's an elemental portal?
Yes.
And Varia, if you'd like to roll a history check for me.
Sure. 14.
Okay, 14. You will know that that there are a couple things around this entire realm, but this in particular is directly linked to the giant elemental Titan war that happened a long time ago, where remnants of this Titan were broken off and scattered as they were fighting across the plains. This was one of those pieces that got locked here.
It's actually a piece of the water type back during the elemental Titan war.
I know very little about the Titan War, so it's interesting to know.
No one else would care, so Vario doesn't say anything to anybody else.
Yeah, I'm always interested in learning more.
Decides to go up and top off his water skin and just kind of looks around and sees if anything sticks out to him as odd.
Okay. Roll a perception check, and then tell me generally what you would consider odd.
Okay.
$18. Like people sneaking around, attempting to do like shady things, and then also he always kind of keeps his eyes open for people who are looking sick or ill, that somebody that might just need help.
Gotcha. Okay, so the first thing, instinctively, I suppose, the first thing that hits your eye is there is one individual that is over near the water that seems to be washing and rewrapping one of the wounds that are on their left arm. It seems to be this red gash of some kind that has slowly begun to callus over and heal, but it's still in the beginning stage of that process as they take the clean water and just rub it across their arm along with a box that's sitting next to them that has these medical supplies inside of it. Besides that, you look a little further towards the houses that are scattered about, and you just kind of keep your eye on it for just enough to see if there's any weird movement of any kind, and you don't see anything.
I decided to go over and interact with the person that has the wound on its arm.
They don't really acknowledge you, as this is a pretty public place and people are just walking about everywhere, as they just keep on cleansing and cleaning their wound as they you'll notice that they're still at the moment they're working on one area of it that seems to have this uh, this rod. It looks like a small, thin little piece of something that's underneath of their skin that they're trying to slide out sideways, and they're pulling it out, and it's pretty long.
Can I tell, since my proficiency in medical is from combat medicine, from a fight of some sort?
Yes, it was definitely from a fight of some kind, and it looks like whatever it is had some thorns of some kind, or maybe like quills that his arm seemed to smash into whenever he was hitting him with the mace that's sitting next to him on the ground there.
Bend down. Hello there, my friend. Would you like a hand?
seem just facial and then eyes just seem a little reluctant to accept your help at the moment, as they just are just waiting on you to do whatever you're going to do.
So I come from a line of doctors. I can help you with that. I can promise you.
Oh, roll a persuasion check.
Out for his arm.
Oh, okay. Well, there's like immediate resistance, but then there's a relaxation and just okay. I guess you have my arm now. Here you go.
Well, I put my hand out for him to offer me his arm.
Okay.
I'm not just going to reach out and take it.
Okay. Just roll the persuasion check for me.
Yeah, that's not going to persuade him at all.
With a 7, unfortunately, no, as they seem to kind of recoil a little bit and take the box that's off to the side and begin to just kind of pack things back and say, just mumbled and muffled under their breath enough, say, no, thank you, I'm okay. I fixed it.
That's still in your arm. I can see it. If you don't remove it, it's going to get infected. And out here in the middle of nowhere, that could be deadly.
Okay, I understand. Why are you helping me?
I just smile.
Do you want some money? Like I don't.
I want nothing from you. My parents traveled this world for nothing, helping people. And I live in their name. I continue to do what they still do to this day. I serve the goddess Dravita. I want nothing but to help you.
Oh, fine. Okay. Here. They hold out their arm in your general direction.
I grab out my book of medical techniques, look, and start to work on his arm.
Okay, so a few things you'll notice right off the bat is, one, there's definitely still some more of those spiny thorns, the quills that are in there. As you'll notice, over time, they've been scratching it, which has not helped at all. And you'll also notice that the bandages they were using were not clean. It seemed to be just some pulled off rag off of something that they tore into strips and wrapped it around their arm until they could get here. But you quickly rectify a lot of those issues as you pull out your surgical tools and begin to, through agony and little begin to pull out the different quills, all 6 of them that you find inside of this gash on their entire forearm there. And then some of them do require a little bit of closing up as you begin to tighten that well. What's everyone else doing while you see your friend off being a good Samaritan off in the distance?
I guess Varya is going to try to perhaps. No, Varya is just going to fill her water skin up. Yeah.
I'm gonna fill my water skin while looking around because all of this is new to me.
It's definitely a spectacle if you haven't been here. Part of your journey is definitely taking in places like this.
I'm just gonna take number one. I'm gonna fill all three of those barrels with water, and get them safely back into vein. And then I'm also gonna kind of keep an eye on S, what he's doing, and anybody around us, just in case someone tries to do something to any of us.
Okay. Everyone seems to kind of come and go from this area while you're doing your thing. Over time, you'll notice that the two individuals from the tavern do break off and go their separate ways from here. One continues to go north. The female continues to go north from here, but the half orc goes in the direction generally where you'll be going. Okay, so one of the shacks open, and then there's a robed individual that walks out that's completely covered from head wrap, face, and then toe. This loose robe that is a yellow and green pattern that has this bisect nature to it in various places that are a crisscross pattern, and an amulet that sits in the very center holding what is a cape or scowl on that has the mask in the dead center. Looks like a desert folk of some kind, but definitely has that more traditional Gravita look to them as they begin to walk off towards the much bigger shack. In this particular case, Hyrule, you will notice, but S, you're kind of focusing on your task at hand and really trying to take care of business here and do the best you can for this person. But they will acknowledge US as just a general sense of you're doing awesome work for the people of this desert. You get a nod and a quick just prayer hands, and then like a glimmer gets sent out that direction as you could see some type of energy being pushed, and then continues on their way. Besides that, you finish up filling up the 3 barrels, and S, you also about the same time finish up your different steps to this that you're trying to properly do. The person that you're working on, S, gives you a proper thanks, and there's a very genuineness to that wasn't there before, where there was hesitation. There is like a small like grit of pain and soreness, but that kind of comes with the process as they get sent on their way now. In pain, but in much better spirits than before.
Do take care. And when you do change the bandage, Use clean bandages next time. But you're all set.
Okay, I'll do the best I know how. Thank you.
S just kind of bows to him. And then turns see if he can find his friends or if anybody else that needs help.
Well, the first thing you see is your friends there. Definitely.
Yeah, I would be sitting in the back, sketching the Oasis in my book.
The person that you were talking about before, are they gone?
Yes, they have gone inside of that larger building. Yes.
Okay.
You did not see that. Hyrule,
No.
you did see that in that case.
Right, I did.
I go over, I take out a small little wash pan I have, fill it with water, and start cleaning off my tools.
I can use bleh. I could use a spell to clean if you want.
I do appreciate that, Dajo, but the doctor's got to take care of his own tools.
Understandable.
You can see the passion in my eyes for doing this. And as I'm doing it, you can see like it's almost robotic and methodical the way I do it.
There's like a satisfaction as the pattern. You can see every tool has a specific method. Every particular way you're holding something to clear out pieces of medical supplies. Each piece of tool comes apart in a certain way. You take it all the way apart, put it back together exactly how it was. Anyone watching would see a level of precision here that is very studied and masterful.
S, I learned the medical knowledge after you came in. Well, you and your family came and healed my mother, just in case.
That's good to hear. It's always a good skill to have.
What's everyone else doing?
Varya's probably just stretching.
Always watching what's going on,
Uh,
but also starting to set up tents because it's that time.
Okay. You want me to cook for everyone or stick with your own rations?
Whatever you please.
Having a good meal before we start on the next part of our journey would probably be a good idea.
I'm fine with some food.
Okay. I get out all my cooking supplies and is there a nearby fire I can use or should I start my own?
You look around and there doesn't seem to be any place in the public area of a fire of any kind. It looks like that most people that are set up like that have their own.
Okay. I will set up a fire and start cooking.
So
Guys,
does the large tent seem to have any like big relevance to, or is it just kind of there?
The large it's a wooden building. It's made out of all the trees. As the building does seem to have a flag that's on the outside, which is an indication of the local desert government. It seems to be some type of government building of some kind.
So where we're going on that map, do we have any information about that general vicinity where we're heading?
well, the treasure hunters from before seem to have been heading in the same direction we're planning on going. So maybe the temple they were talking about?
This is all news to me.
Well, they could.
Temple.
Yes, there's supposedly a hidden temple out here in the desert that may have need to be accessed something inside by a dagger, which supposedly maybe one of those adventurers had.
So, S, I'll go ahead and have you roll either a religion or a history check.
Neither of those are good for me. 12.
Okay, so I'll give you the general spiel here. This
To
desert of
remember, you could
Sahasa,
have guidance.
um, so the desert of Sahasa is named because this is one of the many locations where one of the ascended heroes that were part of the pantheon ended up hiding some of their gold. This one in particular being a pirate as a part of their mortal form. Before they took on the great titans, they decided they were going to hide their gold in particular places around the world. And one of them was in the middle of the desert somewhere. Left a treasure map. There are different people who have tried to find this particular one, but none have been successful up to this point. That's as much as you know.
Okay. I relay that from what I know to them, to the rest of the party. But that general vicinity, it might not be a bad idea to find out a little bit more about it. If we're able to, I mean, the building right here, the folks inside might be able to give us a little more information.
Especially with you here, S. They might really like to listen to you.
Why is that?
Pretty sure that's another temple. Someone looking like, well, they're like one of you. Walked by.
That's just kind of looks, I will confuse, like, Oh, okay. Well, what do y'all think?
It's always good to have more. Yeah, it's always good to have more information on where we're trying to go.
If we wanted more information. There is those two adventurers. I don't know where they went, but they were here.
Oh, I think they headed off already.
Okay.
If we cross the path already, there's a good chance we'll cross them again.
I mean, they were here before us. They obviously weren't the people in the tent.
Well, I'm going to need somebody with a map to go in with me.
I mean, I'm the one with the map that I'm currently cooking for everyone.
Well, if the tents are done and settled, then I guess if you want to hand me the map, Darjo, I can go with them.
Okay, here's the map.
I take it from.
We won't be long.
Okay, so you head towards the big building. It's just a single door on the outside of it. As you can get a little closer, you can see that the windows seem to be shuttered at the moment. Seems to have shutters on the inside, as well as the door itself, as you approach, does seem to be locked.
I knock on the door.
After 2 or 3 minutes of you hearing footsteps on the inside, you hear a latch as well as some type of wood being removed from the inside, and the door opens slightly, and you see a robed individual that has the face mask that's got the bisected colors, and looks out the door at you and acknowledges you with their eyes before saying, can we help you?"
Yes. We're actually in the search of a little bit of information about where we are headed. I was wondering if you might be able to help us.
Okay, my friend, allow me to let you in and you can view our map. As they open the door, and you can see that scrawled across the entire wall is one large map of the whole desert scape that has a set of points that have been put in it almost like a dart, but they're different knives that have been tossed. You can see other spots where maybe the knife has been removed, as well as different blue blotches that are the Oasis. There's a mountain ridge that runs down the center. Near the bottom of this wall, you can see a dark gray area of the wasteland. The right side, you can see the whole coastline that runs up to the top. And across the top, you can see a dividing line that is just pure white. That is the tundra north. This desert does something quite interesting than other deserts as it transitions directly from desert to tundra magically, which is a interesting quality of the Elemental Titan War from long ago. The gentleman that lets you in just simply walks back towards the center of this room where a communal table that are just full of jovial individuals that are laughing, and then on the far side seems to be some type of courtroom that doesn't have any people inside of it, but has a setup with the stand as well as the a bench and various other seating arrangements along the side for anyone who is there to judge a trial. There are in total about 12 people in the room. They all look a bit more formally dressed, with one of the individuals that is having that bisect coloration of Revitia, the individual that lets you in, simply finds a seat and welcomes you to the table to have your little chat.
Question, Rare. When one member of Gravita wearing their mask meets with another, is it proper for the other to put their mask on as well?
Only in the temple.
Okay.
Out and about, any type of public space, it's not necessary, no.
Okay. I take a seat across from them and begin our palaver. I'm sorry to disturb you this late in the evening.
As they simply sit there and no intention to say much, if anything at all, just hearing you talk and letting you get 100% finished with all the questions you may have.
Well, where we're heading, we have not much information on, me and my companions. I motion towards Hyrule to bring out the map so I can mark on our map where we're, the general vicinity where we're heading.
It should already be marked on the map.
Oh, okay.
Yes, the location was triangulated earlier, yes.
Okay. This is the general vicinity of where we're traveling. And
The guys simply just glance down at it and then glance up at you as you continue talking.
we're sent on a mission by someone that you will know very well, much like I do, Lady Aisha.
The eyes kind of widen ever so slightly. Continue.
And before we head there, I'd like to get as much information about that area as possible. Just because we want to try to make this as safe and return to her in one piece if possible.
Well, anything for Aisha, of course. As they turn around, and you'll see him glance back and forth a couple times towards the map and your map and the map on the wall and your map, trying to figure out where that might be, takes a simple knife and then just flings it into the wall as it just kind of sticks there, exactly where the X on the map is. And you'll notice that in that general area, there are other knives. There's at least 2 other ones that are somewhat close, within a half day's journey. As he simply turns back and says, "Well, if you would be so kind, as you are sitting presently in the hall here, the Hall of Heroes, taking on a couple assignments that are of great importance to us as well, we would be more than happy to help you."
My eyebrows kind of raise. Well, in the Hall of Heroes.
One of many, yes.
Yes, Daddy's in here.
This particular hall is the secondary location inside of this desert scape. We run the southern portion, and we have a northern sister location. The place that you're headed has 2 different assignments that you may find interesting. It comes with benefits.
Well, I mean, first off, comes our mission. But just out of curiosity's sake, what is it that the jobs that you require to be done there?
Well, the one that's a little further north than where you're going, we sent out a party once before and they never came back. So the objective at this case would be to go locate those individuals and bring them back. News, dead or alive, would be fantastic, and nothing more unless you're feeling a bit more adventurous, then you may be able to finish the task that they were on.
And
The other
what
one.
might that task be?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. The task is, there's a particular group of thugs that live in that region. They live in a dune hole. We've discovered that they have taken something quite important to the hall. It is a magical item of sorts that's able to allow them to sneak around without being seen. If you could retrieve that for us, we would be very grateful. If not, I completely understand. It's quite dangerous.
And if side missions and such, it's not just my call. But what can you tell me about the area in which we'll be traveling?
Of course, there's the dunes, and you will need to watch out for these dune holes. This is a here. It'd be better if I showed you. As stands up and walks over to a a perfect matching sand colored piece of wood, and it's just a simple plank of wood that is in this square shape. Quite large. It's about 3.5 feet on either side, flat, and it has a stick that runs about 3.5 feet in the center, like a rod that runs in the center. This is what they use to hide their dune hole until someone comes passing by and they ambush them. Most people never see it coming.
Now that is valuable information.
So I appreciate you for acknowledging that, and I hope it will be very useful in saving your life in the future.
Very much so.
On the other hand, we have a mission that is somewhat to the south of where you're going. Not much, maybe another day's travel to the south. And there are some ruins there which hold this it's really a secret unless you're willing to take this mission, but we'd like you to
The dagger?
how do you know about I'll get more into that whenever you choose to accept this mission. But yes, it does involve a magical dagger of some kind, yes.
Well, there's someone else that's on the way there. Actually, I think they just left a little bit ago.
Looks very confused about whom or what you may be talking about.
You may be sending missions out by yourself. That does not stop other people who know about the treasures of the Pantheon and where they might be hidden.
I find that interesting in multiple ways. Again, you will need to accept this mission for me to talk more. I must preface this, but I do find that interesting.
I was just hoping it was valuable information for you.
Oh, yes, thank you. I really appreciate that. It gives me some level of insight as he simply pulls out a book out of a coat pocket that's just on the inside of the robe and begins to write down the information you said.
We'll pass on the information that you let us know about our travels. And then also, we must talk as a group about the other missions that you requested of us.
Please, please, if this is not everyone in your group, then please have that discussion and return if you do choose to accept this. We do have some supplementary supplies that we believe would be useful for this journey. If you would choose to accept it, of course.
We'll let you know as soon as possible. Thank you so much.
Anything else I can do for you in this moment?
Not that I know of. Haru?
Nothing here.
We will
All right.
leave you be for now.
I appreciate your questioning, and I hope clarifying things was sufficient enough if you do not end up returning. As he begins to escort you towards the door and stand just on the inside.
Have a wonderful night. Thank you again.
You as well. And you hear the closing and the latching, as well as the wood plank across the back of the door.
Well, as we're walking away, that was interesting.
Dog.
And as you're walking away back towards your camp, your both Darjo and Varia have spent their time doing whatever they seem valuable, cooking. And Varia, what were you doing?
Stretching and doing exercises.
Amazing. you stretch and do exercises until you see Hyrule and S get to just the outskirts of your little camp there on the other side of the fire. At this point, most of the cooking is just wrapping up, and you're about ready to serve the food.
Good timing. The food's almost done.
Perfect. We can talk as we're eating food then.
And as you begin to prepare the food, you put them into you have a stack of a certain amount of bowls, a certain amount of utensils to eat from that you carry along your journey with you. You pass that around to everybody. You have your own individual drinks, whatever you so wish. And as you begin to have this discussion about your next steps, we will continue that in the next session of Realms of Halvidor.